This is an ntTV special report, The Perfect Storm.
What started out as a Valentine's Day surprise soon turned into a statewide disaster as record snowfall hit Texas for the first time in over 50 years. Within 2 days, millions of Texans were subjected to freezing temperatures, rolling blackouts, and broken pipes and contaminated water, which not only contributed to the deaths of dozens, but also left Texas damaged, the effects of which still remain. Welcome to an ntTV special report. I'm Michaela Goose. What you just saw is what many experienced for days in what the nation is calling the perfect storm. Residents across the state of Texas sheltered within their homes and adapted as best as they could to the harsh conditions. While many homes suffered notable damages, the University of North Texas suffered only minor damages to buildings and facilities. I was able to talk to several UNT students and staff and learn about their experiences during the storm. Some are calling it Snowmageddon or Snowvid-19, but others are calling it a week they will never forget. No water, no electricity, and freezing temperatures caused problems Denton residents never saw coming.
You know, I don't think we really realized it was going to be that bad until we started seeing the rolling blackouts. We were prepared for cold weather. Our systems generally could handle it, even down into the single digits. We might see a broken pipe here or there, but when you throw in that lack of power, it's a game changer.
And the game was definitely changed. The rolling blackouts and freezing temperatures caused almost all of UNT's websites to go down and buildings across campus to go without heat or water, and that was only the beginning.
Yeah, biggest thing is that they've had to bring those down because of the on-again, off-again nature of the power, and our generators unable to keep up with the cold. Generators just really could not handle the fact that we were down into the single digits for extended period of time. So diesel fuel problems, generator core, the blocks, the oil, all those kind of things struggling with those cold temperatures.
Students living on campus were also feeling the strain of the once-in-a-century blizzard.
So during the day, it was kind of more like summer or winter camp, just kind of chilling with friends, like playing games, like card games, whatever. But at night it was kind of stressful when the alarms kept going off because the alarms kept malfunctioning. There was no power, so it was just dark. I couldn't sleep.
But UNT managed to rise above the strain and push through. Certain dining halls were able to stay open for the winter storm and keep students fed.
Each day was a victory followed by a setback, and some of the setbacks we were looking at was obviously no heat inside the dining room. Limited power to some of our equipment. Always when there's an inclement weather condition, there is our resource of staffing becomes somewhat of an issue, but we were able to get a pretty strong plan together. Our directors really stepped up and made sure that we kept the main thing, which was good food and good service during the closure.
Although the university had little damage, students living off campus were not as lucky. Residents at 33 Degrees North apartments off of Eagle Drive had a long weekend of rolling blackouts, busted pipes, and freezing apartments. Starting Sunday night, the power shut off continuously for multiple buildings, while others had rolling blackouts. On Wednesday, pipes started bursting and management was nowhere to be found. The Denton Fire Department had to be called to shut off water to the entire complex.
Basically, they just had to go to everyone's door, break in, see if the water was working and the pipes were working. And then they had to leave our doors unlocked because 33 North wasn't answering and they wouldn't give them the ability to lock our doors. So I got home, my door was unlocked. All of my stuff was left open for theoretically anyone to come in and take. And a lot of people I know went home during this, which is very smart. I wish I had done that from the beginning, but those people that aren't at their apartments and are in different cities or maybe even different states can't come back to lock their doors.
Some apartments were so cold that ice started forming in bathrooms. Residents say that after all the flooding and outages, the most frustrating part of last week was management leaving residents to fend for themselves. Residents had to tweet at Denton Municipal Electric for a repairman to take a look at the complex's power grid.
It's pretty much just been problems with management. They've not been communicative at all, haven't been responding to us, sent out emails claiming, they're on site in the office, here to help us. And the office was closed all last week. I'm back at my parents' house now, but from my understanding, it's still been closed this whole time.
We reached out to 33 Degrees North to get their take on last week, and they declined to comment. Besides initial damages, residents also face the struggle of preparedness in terms of food. Much like the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, many faced empty aisles as others grabbed whatever they could get ready for the storm. Lines wrapping around stores like Walmart and Kroger have led to limited distribution to customers. These providers received less truckloads on a daily basis despite the demand for shoppers being incredibly high. To add to the fray, the source of the city of Denton's power supply brought confusion to many of its citizens. And as it turns out, Denton's Energy Center operates like a series of trade-offs. We recently reached out to Mayor Gerard Hudspeth to clear up some questions.
It produces energy that we sell at whatever the market rate is going, but we're also buying energy at the same time. So it kind of offsets.
Mayor Hudspeth also said that even though the energy works as a constant buy and sell market, the center itself has control on whether or not the city can get power.
It does have a kill switch. So Denton Energy Center has a switch if all heck breaks loose and the city of Denton needs to disconnect from the grid, we can. And we can power about 75% of the city.
Despite the city of Denton having control, the blackouts themselves were brought on by the order of ERCOT, the leading supplier of energy in the state. Yesterday, Texas began their hearings with ERCOT, and leaders from the Denton Municipal Electric were in attendance. When we come back, we'll show you where we stand now after the storm and what Texas is doing to resolve the issues.
UNT is more than 125 years in the making. To find new solutions, we create a new point of view. We know what's possible when creativity, originality, and independent thought converge. We're ranked a Tier 1 research university. We're home to excellence the size of Texas. Define your future at UNT and soar to new heights.
This is an ntTV special report, The Perfect Storm.
Although the storm has passed, many Texans are still suffering the damages it left. Officials predict that the storm could cost Texas upwards of $200 billion, with a consensus from President Biden, Governor Abbott, and Mayor Hudspeth all pointing towards disaster. Welcome back to an ntTV special report. I'm Michaela Goose. After 5 days of snow and a list of issues, Texas saw the sun come out. And although the ice melted away, the problems were only just beginning. One of the first issues was water safety, including a boil water notice, which was lifted this past Saturday. A source of pollution was thanks in large to one surprising aquatic guest.
There's a break it could be Lake Louisville. There's a break at the bottom of Lake Louisville, and a whole bunch of catfish and dirt are flowing into our system. And so they're like, hey, wait a minute, boil your water because you have catfish in your pipes.
The city of Denton was granted a loan worth as high as $300 million. The loan was taken out in order for the city of Denton to have a financial cushion for safekeeping.
None of it is activated. There's no interest. It's just giving us the option. It's almost like it's sitting in the bank in a savings account. There's no fees. There's nothing associated with it at this point.
Following the boil order lift, residents still faced damaged pipes. Many homes experienced significant damages to their plumbing, which has led to a demand of homeowners in desperate need of repairs. The high demand of plumbers has made the time to repair limited. Now scammers are taking advantage of those in need, an issue which caught the attention of Mayor Hudspeth.
So the development department for the city has waived plumber fees. We've put a list of licensed plumbers on the city website to make sure that people understand and have the resources. And you can call in. If you're not able to get online, you can call in and ask, hey, is this plumber on the site? So just making sure we protect our community from scammers that would come in and try to take advantage of people.
Now, it's important to remember these necessary steps to avoid a plumbing scam. First, do not sign over any insurance proceeds. Second, ask for their proof of insurance as well as a license. Don't let anyone say, I don't have it on me. Finally, if they demand cash up front, find someone else. Using a credit card will help create the necessary paper trail. And with damaged pipes and clean water finding their way back, the rolling blackouts have left residents in fear over the future of the prices of their electricity bill. ntTV's Andrew Fancher has an update on what the Denton residents are going to pay.
Most of us did experience the rolling blackouts. And of course, the reason for those was a demand by ERCOT, the Energy Reliability Council of Texas, that we shed load.
Winter Storm Uri swept over Texas on Valentine's weekend. 2 days later, she was accompanied by Winter Storm Viola, inflicting the largest state blackout since 2011.
We had to purchase more power in the last 4 days than we have had the past 3 years. So it's a 10,000% increase.
The sudden increase in power has raised a glaring question for Denton County residents. Will the electric bill remain constant?
This month that we're in, we're all going to be billed at the rate that we already had in place, right? The rate that the city council set during the last budget cycle.
To escape the winter crisis, Denton County pulled a short-term loan of an undisclosed amount. City Council will host another meeting on Tuesday to determine whether more money is needed.
So the county would receive money for the cities, and then we would receive it from the county. In that instance, this short-term loan, we don't have this long kind of payment due that we can then, so we can address it that way.
Our elected officials hope to get the necessary resources for our city. For ntTV News, I'm Andrew Fancher.
As the damages of the storm worked towards a resolution, other effects halted the push to end the COVID-19 pandemic. Major vaccination sites like the Texas Motor Speedway had to close their doors, pushing back vaccinations and limiting supplies. These sites reopened their doors on Wednesday for citizens to receive their second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Alyssa Weems has more on the rollout.
Texas's largest COVID-19 vaccine distribution site has been set back due to last week's winter storms. The site closed for a week following the harsh weather conditions.
Denton County Public Health is only running this clinic. There may be other smaller facilities or pharmacies, doctors' offices that are running smaller clinics, as well as clinics in other locations, other counties. I'm not sure what they're doing or how they're getting caught up, but we're really working hard to try to get as caught up as quickly as possible.
Because of the winter storm, shipments of the vaccine were affected. UPS and FedEx were not shipping as many vaccines to the mega site.
So thankfully, all of our vaccine refrigerators that we have backup generators. So even if the power did go out on site, they had backup generators that were able to maintain the temperature, which is wonderful. We also had backup plans just in case something were to happen to those as well, that local hospitals and local universities, UNT and TWU, had also volunteered for us to use their backup refrigerators and freezers too.
This past week, the site only distributed the second dose of the vaccine to help meet the 6-week window for that second dose. The Speedway is expected to distribute around 8,900 today, hoping to get everyone from last week and this week's appointments caught up.
So we decided early on that we would wait on the first doses so that we could get those second dosers caught up. It is more important to get those second doses due within that 6-week window. And since we were out a week because of the ice storm and because of the power outages and things like that, we really wanted to get them caught up before we start first doses again. So we won't start first doses until next week.
With growing numbers, the site is set to be back on track next week. For ntTV News, I'm Alyssa Weems.
For those that have been affected by the damage brought on by the storm, you have an opportunity to seek financial assistance. We talked to Gary Henderson of the United Way on his biggest concerns as to why they wanted to provide help.
But I think the challenge that we're most concerned about at United Way of Denton County is that very, very simple break in a water line that causes water to be shut off at a home. To have someone have a roof over their head and have utilities running, that's the ground floor. That's the first basic level of comfort and ability we want to provide our residents here in Denton County.
Money is still being raised, but United Way will be posting applications in the next few weeks on their website, and we will keep you updated as we learn more. Thank you for tuning in to ntTV's special report over the Texas snowstorms. Be sure to watch our noon and nightly shows where we'll continue to update you. I'm Michaela Goose. Have a great day.